My garbage person of the week is going to be two, actually, but it's the interaction between them, really. It's Tucker Carlson, but I'm gonna give it to Victor Davis Hanson of the Hoover Institute because he was on Tucker Carlson last night and they had one of the worst interactions about childbirth and Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. Here they are.
It's quickly, do you find it interesting that they are so offended by fertility and nature and the idea that people reproduce and that's okay? You know, that we men and women come together and create new life. Like the whole thing is repulsive to them. Why is that?
Well, I think it's because it started with the feminist movement that they felt that impaired a woman's future. But I think it also reflects reality, Tucker, that the age when people are getting married, having children, buying a home, buying a house has gone from mid-20s to mid-30s. And our crisis right now is that we're not reproducing ourselves. We're about 1.8 rather than 2.1 or 2. And we're suffering from what? Prolonged adolescence. These children, or they have adult bodies, but they have the minds of children. They don't want to grow up. AOC is a good example of a person who's suffering from prolonged adolescence. And she said she doesn't want to have children because of climate change. So it's a phenomenon. I don't know if it's because of $1.7 trillion in student debt or the economy, but they just don't want to take off their training wheels and go out and experience life and its adventures and dangers.
Yeah, it's sad. Even sad for Sandy Cortez. You know, kind of missing the best part, the fun part, I think.
It is.
I'm gonna miss a couple of the terrible things about that because there are so many. His continued insistence on calling her Sandy Cortez like a child there. So much of that. First of all, just factually, you gotta love, why don't they wanna have kids? I mean, some of them say it's because of the $1.7 trillion in student loan debt and the economy, but why don't they just take off the training wheels? That's not how that metaphor works at all. That's like saying, well, you know, the road to be on your bike on is only 2 inches wide and you fall over into magma and sharks with lasers on their heads. But I don't know, why don't they take off the training wheels? No, in that case, I want training wheels because it's really dangerous. You just made my case, you bozo. Those are all great reasons why people would be less inclined to have kids. Notably, they're not the reasons AOC has said she's worried about having kids. They are also lying about that. She has said that she's worried about what world she would be bringing her kids into when it comes to climate change. She didn't say, I'm not having kids because of that. And for them to say that, to have that interaction, that obviously planned interaction, just not that long after, in the wake of the Capitol attack, she did an Instagram live where she told Katie Porter that she was scared to die, that she would die on that day before being able to have kids. That was one of the things that she feared would stop her from having kids. Not, she's dumb and childish about climate change or whatever. That was one of the most condescending couple of minutes of video that I've seen in a very long time, Bridget.
Yeah, it's pretty disgusting. And I hate the way they just openly mock her very genuine pain. Like she went through something pretty traumatic and I hate to see them just openly mocking her for speaking up about it. I think it really sends a terrible message and these people are both garbage.
Yeah, 100%. There's so much more about that that's terrible and we unfortunately don't have time, just disgusting. And like, yeah, it's the left that's really uncomfortable and fears sex and childbirth. That's definitely what it is. You guys wanna outlaw literally everything fun, but whatever, that's my garbage person, that dude. Look up his history. He said some fun things in the past. Anyway, what about you? What about the community garbage person of the week? Well, 32,000 of you voted this week, and here are the top 5 with a triple tie at numbers 5 through 3, I guess. At 6% of the vote, you have Magneto Woman for claiming vaccines cause magnetization. Really? She only got number 5? Also number 5 at 6%, Ben Shapiro for teaching racial slur etiquette. And then also at number 6, Lauren Boebert for calling Representative Omar an honorary member of Hamas. That was a fun one. Well, that leaves at number 2 with 27% of the vote, US billionaires for not paying anything in federal taxes. Hey, fact check, it's not that they don't pay anything, they pay 0.1%. Anyway, but number 1 with 55% of the vote, an overwhelming bit of political garbage, Joe Manchin for blocking progress in the name of bipartisanship. Thank you to all of you who voted this week. Thank you for taking part. Great garbage person there.
Check out the Damage Report podcast each day, wherever you get your podcasts, whether Pocket Casts or Stitcher or iTunes. You can join me as I give you the news and stories you want, with a range of co-hosts and interview guests jumping in on the fun each day. Again, that's the Damage Report, wherever you get your podcasts. And if you get them at iTunes, don't forget to rate and review. Sometimes I'll read them live on the show.